Welcome to 24 Hour Sports. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Today we're doing my all NFL free agent team. And I'm going to pick the best player by position. We got a few criteria and a few things we want to get into before we talk about the video. First, for offense, we're going to be running 2x2. 11 personnel. That means we have two receivers on one side, one receiver on the other side. One guy on the left side is going to be an inside receiver, and then we're going to have a tight end. Then we're going to have one running back. There's no fullbacks, anything like that. Of course, we're going to have the offensive line. Going to defense, we got multiple. We would say base defense, but I mean, nickel, that's basically the base defense of almost every team now in the current modern NFL. So, that's going to be the personnel for this. In case you see something kind of off, I'm going to remind you as we get into the video. But let's get straight into this thing. At my quarterback, the best move who I had. Now, let's talk about these moves. Let's give it a little bit of context. I like Geno. I like Derek Carr. Daniel Jones. Pretty solid moves. Baker Mayfield, you know, that's 1 year up to $8.5 million. That's really a prove it deal to me because Baker Mayfield hasn't been proving a whole lot of anything since the Cleveland Browns. I think Gardner Minshew is a pretty good bridge quarterback if you bring in a Will Levis or Anthony Richardson. But it's interesting because one thing I read when I was looking at this entire thing, they said out of all teams, I mean the Atlanta Falcons and the Indianapolis Colts, you would think that they're trying to get a crack at Lamar. There has to be some type of negotiation there with one of those teams because they're going to miss out on CJ. They're going to miss out on Bryce. Will and Anthony, that's kind of that next tier, you know, you're not really sure. So I think they have to get their name in there. Like I said, it's wide open right now. Teams can actually talk to Lamar Jackson, legal tampering, and he's his own agent. So, you know, it's a different scenario there. But they got to give a crack at it. Like I said, though, my best deal, I got to give it to Derek Carr. That has to be my all free agent quarterback because I think as far as fit, he's going to perform. This is probably the best defense that he's walking into. He's got Pete Werner, DeMario Davis, Cam Jordan, Marcus Lattimore, all of those guys. And then he has some solid weapons. We got to think about it. Michael Thomas, if he can stay healthy. But also, you got Chris Olave. There is some pretty solid weapons there. You just got Jamal Williams. Alvin Kamara, he's going to come back in the back half of the season. I think you're built to really do some special things if you can play up to the caliber of quarterback that I think you are on this team. Going over to the running back, I think it's pretty short and sweet. And you know what? You probably think Miles Sanders to the Carolina Panthers, that's the easy pick. Actually, I have to go with David Montgomery to the Detroit Lions. I think David Montgomery on this team with this offensive line, he's easy 1,000 yards. And we talk about DeAndre Swift. Can he stay healthy? You know, he's a smaller back, somebody you want to get in space. David Montgomery, I think he can also get in space, but also he can run between those tackles with the consistency, has the body to stand up for that. It's going to get a lot of yards, going to get a lot of touchdowns. We've seen Jamal Williams in that offense. David Montgomery is better. He might not be the teammate or the electric guy, you know, that Detroit loved on the TikToks and all that. He might not bring that with him to Detroit, but he's bringing his football essence. Now, I'm getting into my wide receivers. Like I said, we got two, and then we got that slot guy. I'm going to get the slot guy out the way first. And I think really for me, this was an interesting one. But I had to go because we see it right here. Got some receivers, a very, very weak receiver class. So, really, I had to go with Jacoby Myers. Coming into this, I thought Jacoby Myers was the best free agent available. Coming out of this, I think he's the best thing there. He can play inside. He can also line up outside. He's going to the Raiders. Going to be interesting to see how he's used with Hunter Renfrow. I think some of their skills kind of mesh, but that could be a good thing as well as also be a bad thing. So I think they stay healthy. You got Jimmy G. You got Devontae. Darren Waller's out that door. So got some pretty good things you can work with. Going to the outside receivers. And at this point, like I said, it's very weak. I think you have to go Allen Lazard for my wide receiver one in this all free agent team because he went to the New York Jets. And we understand 4 years, $44 million, 11 per average. So why is he the best? He's not is it the fit? Is it him? I think it's because, to me personally, and I'm going to stick with this, what I still believe, Aaron Rodgers was the influence on this deal. And like I said, you can't really say we're hunting Allen Lazard. He's on our target board. We got to get him. Nathaniel Hackett as well. It's not just a coincidence that those guys happen to be on your team. So I think with that being a connection, it's going to be a great fit. Him and Garrett Wilson, you know, That's going to be a pretty solid receiving core. Also got Elijah Moore, question marks around him, whether he wants to be there. But I like this team. I like what they're doing. Paris Campbell, a pretty solid deal, but I don't think he's going to do much. And I mean, honestly, by default, I pretty much got to go Robert Woods to the Texans. Maybe we go receiver with that 12th pick, but we brought a veteran in the room. He's proven. He can teach the young guys. Just have to go with that. So we got, as far as my inside receiver, we got Jacoby, we got Alan Lazard, and we got Robert Woods. Pretty solid receiving core. Now let's get into my tight end. It's only one tight end. So looking at the overall essence of this, I got to go Darren Waller to the New York Giants. What is even the question there? But I want to talk about some other moves that I like because it wasn't just, blown away. Darren Waller is the best player. I think he's going to have the most impact. But I also like Hayden Hurst. A pretty sweet move for the Carolina Panthers. Can receive, can block a little bit. I also like, Jonnu Smith to the Atlanta Falcons. I think him with the combination of Kyle Pitts, now you got that 1-2. And you can't always have you don't always have a George Kittle. That's the fact of it. So now he can serve as more your blocking role, more in line. And then you do Kyle Pitts. You just line him up everywhere. Get him the ball. Line him up out wide. Line him up in the slot. I just want to give him the ball. Opportunities to catch the ball and make plays. That's what we get here because now we have Jonnu Smith, that balancer, to balance it all. Going to my offensive tackle, this was pretty interesting because I don't think there's a lot of different results on what people think about Orlando Brown Jr. I personally think he's solid. I don't think he's elite. When he was with the Baltimore Ravens, was pretty solid. But now he went to the Kansas City Chiefs. And when we talk about the Bengals deal, he said predominantly, I want to stick at left tackle. And that's what the Bengals are promising him. I thought it was a kind of crazy move when you got Jonah Williams and Jackson Carman, but I understand. It's better out there. You got the money. Go protect Burrow. And I want to see what you do with those guys. Are you kicking somebody to right tackle? I think Jackson Carman, when the offensive line was hurt, he stepped in and he had a pretty solid AFC divisional game. So that was good seeing that from him. Young guy out of Clemson. Pretty solid move. To go at my right tackle, I mean, honestly, I'll probably have to say Jawan Taylor, Caleb McGarry. Pretty solid. Some nice guys. Like I said, I already told you how I feel about Mike McGlinchey. I've watched enough 49ers film to know Denver is not getting what that 5 years, $87.5 million contract is saying. And I think all 49ers fans in this comments watching this video can, sign off on that, agree with that. So I had to go Jawan Taylor. Got Orlando Brown on my other side. We're pretty stout. Isaiah Wynn didn't make a decision yet. And there's really not a lot of people. So let's get over to the center position. Now, pretty solid moves. I like Evan Brown. I like Connor McGovern. These are guards, though. But it says center right here. Can play the versatility. But Garrett Bradbury. Honestly, if I had to go with this one right here, I would go with Evan Brown as my center. And I feel pretty solid about that. Going over to the guards. Now, Isaac Seumalo not having a deal done yet. I don't know why, but I think he was one of the top guards in this free agent class. But we also got Justin Pugh. We also got where is he at? We had Justin Pugh, we had Nate Herbig, Will Hernandez, guys like that. So it's interesting. But if I'm gonna go with my right guard, I'm gonna go with Nate Davis, signing with the Chicago Bears, adding to a team that needed offensive line. Run. That's what you think when you think Nate Davis. So having him as that right guard to maul, to kind of push people out of the way, move people, create holes for our running backs. That's why I like him right there. And at my left guard, it's not really even a left guard, but this is the guard. Sometimes on these teams we gotta break positions a little bit. I gotta go with Chris Lindstrom. Clears. He re-signed, didn't really sign to a new team. But he's that guy. If you haven't watched my video on him yet, it's going to be right there. Just click on it, check him out. Athletic, can make every block. I'm not even going to say almost. Can make every block. That's my offense. Pretty solid offense. I think we'd be a playoff team. So now, I'm going to my interior defensive line. I said multiple, so I'm going to pick two of these guys. I'm going to pick, a nose, and then I'm going to pick a 3-tech, something like that. And then we're going to have edge rushers, defensive ends. I'm going to put them in the same category. So let's start with defensive line first. Larry Ogunjobi, kind of an interesting guy. You know, it's a Pittsburgh fan. We play him on the edge a little bit, so I wouldn't really put him as an interior. I think David Aminyata. So he's pretty solid. Sheldon Rankins, Zach Allen, Draymond Jones. Right here, though, I'm going to have to go with Javon Hargrave as my 3-tech, signing with the 49ers. Kinlaw, if he can stay healthy. You got Armstead. You got Nick Bosa, of course. You can be a pretty solid team as far as defensive line. That's how you win Super Bowls. That's how they're going to try to get back to the Super Bowl. So I like that move. I think, though, as far as my pushing the point, I got to go Dalvin Tomlinson. Draymond Jones is kind of good. He can challenge for this. But I'm going Javon Hargrave and Dalvin Tomlinson. Deron Payne, we can say, you know, because he is probably the best, him and Hargrave. But I just want to, kind of, you got to switch it up sometimes. And I understand he re-signed, didn't really sign with a new team. So that's why I'm going with that right there. Now, we got our edges. So Marcus Davenport. Signing with the Minnesota Vikings. That's going to be solid. You know, Zadarius Smith just got released. So now we got him. We're going to have Danielle Hunter. Dalvin Tomlinson's out the door. So we got to shore up the interior. But I like what we did in the back end. We got a corner in this free agency. I'm not going to talk about that just yet. But I like that. So probably I have to go with him as far as one of my edges. Samson Ebukam. Played for the 49ers, now going to the Colts. Like I said, this is an interesting team. You got Kwity Paye. You got DeForest Buckner, Stover. So you're pretty solid on the edge. I think Cleveland Farrell, though, that's my dark horse. Not really on this team, but he signed with the 49ers. Talented guy coming out of Clemson, drafted extremely high. Some people thought it was a reach, and right now it's looking like it was a reach. But I think if anybody can get something out of Cleveland Farrell, that 49ers defensive-minded team, the coaching staff, I think they're going to get the best out of Cleveland Farrell. Looking at the other moves, DeMarcus Walker, Lorenzo Carter, pretty solid move with the Atlanta Falcons. Brandon Graham re-upping, adding depth to the Philadelphia Eagles. Arden Key, that's a nice, sweet move going to Tennessee. Tennessee's going to always have those edge rushers. Harold Landry, who was hurt last year, coming back this year. Bud Dupree's out the door, so now we added him back in there. Pretty solid what we got. Now, let's get to my linebackers. We're going to have two of these, two off-the-ball middle linebackers. That's what we got. So, by default, you know, first thing I got to go Tremaine Edmunds signing with the Chicago Bears. I think that's a pretty sweet deal, athletic. And I don't understand the whole narrative of linebackers not being able to cover. What linebacker outside of Fred Warner, you know, maybe Levante David, guys like that, you're not asking guys to just run up the seams with number 3 receivers. You know, just stick guys man to man. And looking at his frame, 6'5", 240 plus. He's going to stand in passing lanes and zone coverage. If you're in man coverage, he can just cover you up. He's athletic enough to make up for a lack of, you know, coverage technique and unfamiliarity. So I got to go with him. I think that's going to be a sweet move for Chicago. Now, Bobby Orike. That's my next move off the ball for the New York Giants. And like I said, we talking about kind of fit. It's not really the best players right here, but I think he can make a case to be the best player. Also, Levante David on here. Bobby Wagner didn't sign yet. Interesting. Quick, sweet move. Cole Holcomb going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's pretty sweet. And now, still got Miles Jack out there. Gonna want to see what the team does with them. Eric Kendricks. But like I said, I got Tremaine Edmunds and I got Bobby Orike. Those are my two linebackers. Pretty solid. Like I said, on the edge, we got Davenport. And just to go back to check, we got Davenport and we got Ebukam. So, we're ratcheting it up with the defense thing. Now, corners. Like I said, we're running multiple nickel. So, I'm going to have 2 outside and 1 inside. Let's talk with the inside first. And I think, interesting enough, Cam Sutton's a guy that I could throw in there because he plays inside and out. Like I said, for the Lions, though, I think he may be playing outside. Looking at that team, looking at what they need, and interested in what they're going to do with that 6th pick. But he's my inside. I mean, looking at some other guys, Jonathan Jones, but he's a re-signed guy. You know, Emmanuel Mosley, pretty sweet deal. So I'm going to have to go with him on the inside. But now on the outside, I got Byron Murphy Jr. That's my outside corner signing with the Vikings on a prove with a team that needed secondary. Pat Pete, Cam Dantzler, those guys just weren't up to par for what they had last season. Some young guys in the secondary, older vets. There was just no elite talent in that secondary, and it showed all throughout the playoffs, all throughout the season. So that's my outside guy. Going to my next one, though. This is a trade. Got Stephon Gilmore, all free agent. He got traded in free agency, so he can stick. He's in this category. Going to the Dallas Cowboys. I think that's a pretty solid, sweet deal. Like I said, he's getting up in age, but add him with Trayvon. Got a nice team, and you know we like to rush the passer. DeMarcus Lawrence, Micah Parsons, Dante Fowler, Sam Williams, all those guys, and then we play man coverage behind that. Donovan Wilson, Javon Curse. We like to do that. So we're gonna be a really sound team. And they also brought back, as we can see right here, Leighton Vander Esch. Didn't really think he had a huge market. Like I said, his eyes get him. So that's my secondary. We got Cam Sutton, Stephon, and Byron Murphy. Seatbelt. So now, let's get to the safeties. Pretty nice one. I gotta go with Vonn Bell though, as my strong. You know, I can put him in too high. I can just move him around, and I gotta go with him in my strong. Going to the Carolina Panthers. Interesting to what he's gonna do to free up Jeremy Chin. That's what all Carolina Panther fans are talking about. We want him closer to the ball. We want him to, be around the ball. Let's get him out of coverage some, because while he can cover, it's not like he's just, a robot out there. We want him to the ball, making plays, making tackles, forcing fumbles. That's what he can do, and that's why you get a guy like Vonn Bell. So that's who I have right here. Another versatile guy we got out here, Jabril Peppers. Nice. And actually, for my free, I gotta go with Jesse Bates. Going with Jesse Bates is my free. Going with Vonn Bell is my strong. Like I said, can mix and match, move these guys around. So I got a pretty solid back end as far as what we got. Juan Thornhill, a solid guy. See Donovan Wilson re-up 3 years, 8 per average. Pretty solid deal for a guy I was just talking about. Marcus Epps, he left the Philadelphia Eagles, signed with Las Vegas. Pretty sweet deal. I don't think the world of him, but a pretty solid guy is what you're getting. Somebody you can rely on him, but don't expect him to do above and beyond. So DeMonte Kazee coming back with the Steelers. Jabril re-upping on a 1 year. Probably going to be looking to get some money if he has a good season. I know he's talented. Been watching him a lot. And, that's going to wrap it up. That's our team. We got the offense. We got the defense. Let's go back through and talk about who we had for the all team. So now, at quarterback, like I said, we got Derek Carr, running back. We got David Montgomery, receiver. We got Jacoby Myers. We had Robert Woods, and we had Alan Lazard. So that's that team there. Tight end, we had Darren Waller, offensive tackle. We had Jawan Taylor and Orlando Brown, solid. Center, we had Evan Brown. Had Evan Brown for center. Offensive guard, we had Nate Davis, and we had Chris Lindstrom. Kind of the, fastball in there. Interior, we had Hargrave, and we had Dalvin Tomlinson. You could easily throw Daron Payne in there, but like I said, franchise kind of re-up. It's never really a free agent. So, interesting. Now, edge defender, I had Marcus, and I had Ibukam. Arden Key can make a case to get in there, but that's just what I had. And linebacker, I had Tremaine Edmunds and Bobby Orike. Solid. Now, for corner, I had Cam Sutton, inside guy, like I said, nickel, multiple formation. And then we had Stephon, and we had, on our other outside, we had Byron Murphy going to Minnesota. So we got 2 Minnesota guys on this thing. Like the video if you're a Minnesota fan. So now safety. We had Jesse Bates and Vonn Bell. I don't think anybody's taking this team by the lightest, because we're coming to play ball. And that's going to wrap it up. That's my team that we have, ranking the teams and making an all-free agent team based on fit and performance, what we're expecting, what we want to see. This is going to be an interesting season coming up. And now free agency is just about over with. Going to want to see what they do with Lamar Jackson. Going to want to see what the compensation is for Aaron Rodgers. But right now, this is kind of what we have. We're kind of set to get back into these mock drafts. And you can expect the mock draft video very soon.